Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's live stream AMA Guess We're Together, which is always fun. So yeah, we're going to go through a bunch of stuff as always. Oh, I thought there was feedback, but there's just people yelling outside. Good. Okay. We're going to go through some stuff. So throw your comments in the YouTube live chat or the Twitter live chat. And I will just say one more thing. Happy birthday, Sophia. Best Mod.
Yeah.
Go say happy birthday, Best Mod on Discord, X, whatever you want. So
Yeah. So we're getting ready to go to Manila next week. I am so excited for that. We'll be at the YGG Play Summit in person with all of you guys. It's going to be such a crazy week next week. Super busy, I'm sure. But yeah, we'll be there. We'll be like meeting with all of you guys.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, some like good in-person time with the community, which we haven't really done much of that, right? I feel like Hantao's spent more time in person with the community than either of us, which is not good.
Ban Hantao.
Yeah, we'll ban him. No. So yeah, we'll be in the Philippines next week. Super excited for that. We'll be at the events, all of that. So in this AMA today, what I wanted to go over was I want to go and get through some questions with you guys. I want to give you guys an update on what the next 30 days look like. I kind of want to set the tone for the next rest of the year plan as well too. And yeah, overall, I'm pretty excited and bullish on what we have coming. And we're going to kind of switch up some of our strategy now too. So let's start with the basics and some of the stats. We just posted a tweet that we crossed 10 million pixel in.
Yeah, you want me to?
Yeah, we crossed 10 million pixel in 30-day revenue over the last 30 days, which is actually the highest amount of pixel that we've burned in the 30-day span since we started at Pixels. So that's a really, really awesome milestone to hit. So for reference, we gave out 22 million pixel last month and we burned 10 of it. So we're at a ratio of 0.45 for payback, which actually leads us as one of the most efficient games in apps in Web3 right now. It's kind of crazy that Web3 in general is so far behind in that. But if you look at other protocols in the Web3 space in general, right? I think Solana is 7% per year inflationary, and I think they did 700 million in revenue. So I think they minted about $7 billion of tokens, did 700 million in revenue. Fact check me on that. But that would be a payback of basically 0.1 tokens for every one token that they give out. We're about 4 times that right now. So the fundamentals of Pixels are looking really solid. If you want to take a look at where this revenue is coming from, we've also done a pretty good job of diversifying revenue streams. I like to bring up these charts to show you and give you that transparency. You can see how the revenue has shifted over the last 3 months. And in the last 30 days specifically, since we released Chapter 2.5 updates, what you can start to see is that coin purchasing is taking up a much larger share of revenue. It's actually been growing week by week, which is awesome. What we like about coins and purchasing that in-game is that it is a much more sustainable source of revenue than VIP, right? VIP subscriptions are great, and VIP is still going to be a focus at Pixels. We'll have more stuff coming for that in the short term and the long term as well too. We want to start adding more VIP perks, things like that. It's going to be a big part of the reputation system. And when we have another announcement coming out in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll probably have a VIP portion of that as well too. Oh, and we have some we have some cool things.
There's another VIP thing coming actually.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, and we'll have some cool announcements with kind of boosting these sales too. I think I might even announce that one today because I think it's a cool thing to talk about. So yeah, overall, the fundamentals of Pixels are really strong and are getting better month on month too. So our goal is basically to get that reward to revenue payback to about 1-to-1. That's basically, we do that. We figured out the fundamentals of Web3 gaming completely, and we're on track to do that now. It's been increasing month by month. We're getting there. So what that means now is it's actually probably time to start some of the growth again. Yeah, we're going to go back into growth mode here at Pixels. And we tell you every single time when we're going to do this, I'm telling you guys, we're going to start pushing some more of the growth. So what does that mean? We've been pretty cautious with how we have been thinking about our user base, how we've been thinking about incentives, and how we've been thinking about some of the things that we've done before. If you guys remember, we know how to grow. We know how to get more users inside of the game. I think we've proven that at this point, right? Think back to Play the Airdrop. Think back to all the stuff that we did over the previous 2 years when we were building out the network effects inside of Pixels and how we got to this user base now. We did a lot of things like incentivized referrals, incentivized content creation, all of that. Expect some of that stuff to start turning on again soon. And there's some new growth loops that we can even start to add as well.
Slow down.
Sorry, I'm
just so excited.
I'm so bullish right now. So one of the things that we're going to do, for example, and I think I can announce this, is we're going to introduce something like creator codes. That's a really good example of one of these like aligned incentives of revenue. And I think we're going to be adding that on basically every in-game pixel purchase, which is going to be kind of crazy.
It's going to be so amazing.
For VIP passes, for coins, all of this kind of stuff, what that means is basically we're going to give you codes that you can enter, and each of these codes will correlate to a creator that you all know. Like, for example, if you follow Lou or if you follow Kagi, you can use one of their creator codes and you can actually get a discount on any purchase of Pixel in game, right? So if you want to buy VIP, you'll get a discount if you use their creator code. When you buy VIP, if you buy coins, you'll get a discount if you use their creator code. And what's cool is that a portion of that sale will go to the creator also.
So you get to support your favorite creators and also get a discount. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah, it's a great win-win, right? Yeah. So we'll probably try to get this out in the next month. That's going to be the goal here. So expect that if you're a content creator inside of Pixels, it'll be a cool thing, right? So yeah, you guys will probably start spamming.
The other fun content creator update is, so our content creator program is pretty big at this point. It's pretty amazing. I love it so much. And they're always throwing events. And a lot of these events include our users and whatnot. And so we officially are putting all of the creator run events in our in-game calendar. So you guys might have seen, I just retweeted one of our creators is throwing an event, and it's, I think, the first one to get posted in there. So it's a really exciting moment. So make sure you're always checking the in-game calendar, because they're honestly always giving away some really cool stuff. So it's like worth going to.
Ooh, here's a good question I'm just gonna bring up now, because this is also leading into some of the stuff too. So there's not too much to content inside of Pixels right now. It's so hard to get engagement if all they do is grind and click and stuff like that. What I'll say is, I don't know, I think some of the content creators at Pixels have been so creative.
They're amazing
with the content they create. Like, I don't know if you guys followed the Waterboy saga, but that was content creator driven. That was one of the favorite, like when I learned that meta, that you guys had like this thing called a water boy. If you guys don't know what water boys are, I think most of you in the community do, but for the people who maybe don't pay as much attention to Pixels, there was this whole in-game economy for people who wanted to level up their skills a little bit faster, where like some people in the community labeled themselves as water boys, and they basically would water crops for people so that the people leveling up could go quicker. They didn't have to spend as much energy, and they can get their skills up higher. And these water boys would follow around the people farming. It was the funniest thing. I tried to be a water boy for a day. It's hard work.
Who were you a water boy for?
You have to be in the guild for the water boy, so it took me a bit of time to figure it out. Right. But yeah, maybe I'll do a shift as a water boy sometime soon. But yeah, what I'll say is there's more fun stuff coming in Pixels pretty soon. So here's some new types of content that we'll be releasing quite soon. We have all the updates that we've been talking about for chapter 2.5 on the way still. The next big one is going to be around items and XP and recipes. We're basically going to do a whole similar rewrite to what we did with the Taskboard for all the recipes and items inside of the game. This is going to shift a lot of the game meta again. So if you guys remember how much the game meta just shifted with the Taskboard update, where you have to get like all these new items before the trading is a little bit different, it's going to probably feel just as big when we get this update out too, to how a lot of you play the game. Now, the point of this update is so that the gameplay feels more balanced and it makes more sense. Yeah, what we want to do is we basically want to like fix all the mistakes that we made in chapter 2, and we're still making progress towards that. But then there's also going to be some other fun content coming as well. So the one I can talk about now is we're going to reintroduce Guild Wars soon. It sounds like we're in the final testing stages of that, and Guild Wars V2, which will be a lot more fun and sustainable than it was before, will be launching probably in the next 4 weeks, hopefully sooner, to be honest. We're going to try to get it out by end of month, but we'll see. It just has to go through testing, like a bit of like final touches need to get added, but it's basically in our staging environment, sitting and almost ready to go.
Luke's saying dates again.
I'm saying dates again. We got to move. I mean, that is It's time to lock in,
Look at
people.
where my computer froze.
Yeah.
Lovely. I love when we freeze in the most beautiful expressions. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So it's time to lock in, right? So, you get opportunities handed to you. And this is the time to start taking advantage of, all the stuff that we've built in Pixels, all the fundamentals that we've started to kind of iron out. And yeah, so expect more content. Also expect some more of the previous things that we have been doing for like Play the Airdrop to come back to. So before end of year, we want to get things like referrals back in. We want to get things like incentivized content creation, all of this kind of stuff. So, and hopefully before end of year, we'll have staking as well.
Damn. Lots going on.
Yeah, it's possible. So it's our time to basically seize opportunities in front of us, and Pixel's team will deliver is what I'll say.
Yeah, sorry, you guys are commenting a lot on these creator codes. Yeah, so let's talk about it a little bit more. First of all, you guys make fire memes. Shout out to Meme Lord. I don't know how to say the first part of your name. Exile.
I don't like his memes.
Fair. And someone else asked if the codes will be given to existing content creators. Yeah, so we're going to figure out how we distribute them in throughout the content creator program. So stay tuned on that one. There'll be more information as we get closer to rolling out.
Yep. And then, hopefully we'll have one big surprise also announced before the end of this month. I can't guarantee it. There's like a few things that we're wrapping up with it, but that one will be big when we announce it. And that'll be a lot of content to create as well too. So yeah, hopefully next AMA we can show that. I'm not sure. It's a little bit out of my hands when we can actually say this next thing. But all I'll say is there's big news around the corner. When that news is announced, it'll be pretty fun.
What are you talking about? I'm like, there's so many things going on.
Yeah, we're in the final stages of that thing that we've been working on for a long time.
Which? Oh man. Okay. I'm so focused on what's coming in like the next week. So, oh wait, you know what? I'm gonna announce that. Here we go. Leaky Luke, and occasionally I'm nicknamed Hinting Heidi. It's not as good as Leaky Luke though. So the winery, there is an update coming, should be coming in the next week. And it's going to include some bulk crafting. We're introducing that back. Now there's another thing that is also going out. And we wanted to address this. So, during the gotcha from the Halloween contest, there was a little bit of a UX glitch that showed that there was still a winery, and then people thought that we were replacing them and adding more, and so they rushed to buy more teeth and more boxes. That was not the case. There was always one. It was just a UX glitch. It was always there. It went out totally fairly, as planned. But the problem obviously was that UX glitch, and like basically I'm saying like showing the number where the number was wrong. That's really all it was. The system performed as it should. However, that meant that a lot of people, like I said, rushed to buy teeth. So anyways, I think there was around 20 people that rushed to buy teeth thinking they would be able to get the winery and did not get it. So what we've decided to do is over time, we're going to be opening up the wine industry a lot more. So what we're going to do is those people that were affected, those users will be the first users given a tier 3 winery. So that should be coming in the next week, I hope. There will be more tier 3 wineries as we open up the industry, but these people will be the first ones to have them. So we just wanted to make that right and give you something that was actually worthwhile instead of, a quick fix. So thank you for your patience on that. And yeah, so all of those updates, bulk and the tier 3 ones going out should be in the next week.
Yeah. So do note again, just want to emphasize again, there's going to be more tier 3 wineries coming into the game after these initial ones go out. I think when we actually give these initially, I think there will be 20 to 30 inside of the game at first. But we're going to start to introduce more, right? So I think there's 50 wineries in the game right now, maybe a little bit less.
God, I can't keep track.
Yeah, 50 tier 4 wineries in the game right now. So obviously it's going to make sense in the long run that there's more tier 3 wineries in the game than tier 4. And how we're going to start to introduce tier 3 wineries into the economy is through things like gotchas,
chase content.
Chase content, basically.
Yeah.
And one of the features coming out that we've talked a little bit about is merchant ships. We're finishing up the final touches of that right now. If we go back to the sprint system that we talk about, right? Like we work in sprints. This is hopefully the last sprint that will be like doing dev work on it. So where that feature is at now is we're basically done coding it, but there's like some art, there's some like content that we need to populate in it. Like we need to make the merchant ship tasks and all of that stuff. So yeah, ideal situation is like we basically have all of it done and then we're testing it after this sprint, which is a 2-week chunk of development time. So expect that out probably after the sprint's
QA.
over, after QA.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the phrase, but it's pretty.
You guys know the phrase.
Yeah, but it's pretty close to being done. So that's a really good example of a feature that's going to be introduced. So merchant ship, again, it's kind of like the Taskboard, but it's different because it's more oriented towards endgame players. And what the merchant ship feature does differently than the Taskboard 2 is it introduces like content that you can get inside of the merchant ship feature, not just pixel. So if you don't want to use that feature, you don't have to, but it's a way to kind of use some resources to get stuff besides just pixel inside of the game too.
Cool. Okay, is there anything else you planned to what's that?
Yeah, I've never said that. I didn't say 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, no entiendo. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to cover before we dive into questions? I know we've kind of already been pulling up questions.
Yeah, I think let's talk about what else.
Oh, I clicked on this by accident. Let's talk about it. What is it? Daily energy mechanics must be changed. AFK, idle, generally bots too much. Want to exchange tickets for wines. Okay, so the thing is about the carnival and the bots.
Yeah, wait, let's talk about that. Yeah. So the carnival tickets, that was about a year ago that we did carnival.
It was, because it was the Ronin Carnival.
Yeah.
It was like a celebration of us being on Ronin.
Yeah, so there's a lot of carnival tickets in the game that you guys have. The issue is so many bots got them during that event too. Because if you remember, the carnival started off really awesome. We had like a bunch of new mini games that we released, and the first 2 weeks of it were great. After 2 weeks, some bots figured out how to play carnival.
Ooh, left, right.
Yeah, especially that left right game, if you remember. That was really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, we banned a lot of the bots that were there, but then there's still some that might have dormant accounts with a bunch of tickets.
I think tickets have the highest quantity of any item in the game.
Yeah,
the distribution is incredibly uneven. And so if we were to do something, we really have to figure out if it makes sense to do something. Because like I said, some bots and some accounts have I have 30, right? And so the difference between me and a new user that's come in the last year has 0, which is a lot of our player base, right? And then you have the OGs that have I don't even want to know how many thousands, right? It's how do we do that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's a solution.
One thing that I've thought about, which I might bring back to the team, is it might make sense to have them in the Taskboard for a little bit of time, just to kind of reduce some of that stock and make it.
I think that would probably be the only fair.
Yeah. We do like the idea of carnival again, but I think the focus for live ops events first is going to be
delete all tickets.
No, we're not going to delete all the tickets. They're always there. But yeah, there's something that we might be able to do with them still.
Okay. Really important question. Is anyone going to get us in?
Yeah.
When?
Look, that's the hottest event going on in the Philippines. We know it.
Is there actually one happening next week? Do they have an event next week?
I think there's 3 or 4 nights, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can't find tickets.
Damn. It's like heirs to our
maybe
Manila version.
I don't know if Beanie would be too happy if we put them in game without asking. We can't figure.
Okay. Let's see here. Some people talking about the carnival, Christmas carnival. That would be so cute. Last time, because it was around fall, we did put pumpkins and stuff everywhere. That's why those are there. It's because they launched around that time and we never took them out.
Oh, this is a good question. Who do you consider an endgame player? Okay, so I consider endgame player if you are like relatively leveled, and you're like in that end game of like going through the motions and doing your tasks every single day, like you're probably the player that will be participating in merchant ships, right? Like you have a lot of items in your chests, you've been stocking some stuff up, right? And you might see something that is in the merchant ships that's interesting to you. That might be an option or a time to use some of the items inside of the game that you've been storing to get some of this chase content, right? So if you see like a tier 3 winery as one of your like merchant ship tasks, like yeah, you're probably going to want to use like some of the stored items that you have to get it, right? So it's going to be for you types of players. Maybe some people who like own land or like are in part of a guild will want to participate in that. But basically, like if you show up to the AMAs consistently, you probably are an end game player. Somebody who's like pretty far through it, right?
Yeah.
And this is the kind of content for you, basically.
This is an interesting idea. Tickets equals UGC.
Oh, yeah. I think we talked about an idea that we had for
we did. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week.
UGC minting.
We're still okay. Us talking about that, I know, kind of triggered the UGC channel on Discord.
They didn't like it?
Don't worry. It's just an idea. We're still in the ideation phase. And we share this a lot with you guys, right? We're building in public. So we want to hear your ideas and we want to tell you ours. And so that was just one idea. I had like a really long call with our designer yesterday talking more about it. Something has to change just because we get around 2 to 3, sometimes 400 submissions a week. And it's not always high quality art. It takes a lot of manpower to go through it all. I know it's a lot on you guys. Also, the back and forth. It's very nuanced. There's a lot there. There's also, we're approaching 900 UGC items in game. So it's starting to feel less and less scarce, right? Which isn't always fun either. It's kind of like there's a whole bunch of stuff here. That being said, I adore UGC. I love it so much. It makes me so happy. It makes all of us happy. It makes all of you happy. We love it. We love it. But we just think it needs a little bit of tweaking. So don't worry. Don't freak out about anything yet. We'll share with you once we've kind of figured out exactly what makes sense here.
Okay, some good questions too. So somebody asked about contested land. Is that all just talk? Okay, so want to get the inside scoop dirt on Pixels. Basically, contested land's been the roadmap for a long time, right? When we released Chapter 2, that was supposed to be one of the first things worked on after Chapter 2. What happened is Chapter 2, we needed to fix a lot of things. To be honest, you guys know it. We talk about this transparently a lot. Chapter 2 did some good things. It also like brought us back a couple steps in some other ways. We've been spending the last couple of months basically doing a lot of economy fixing, which we're finally working through all of that now, right? So basically, here's kind of our roadmap now. We are working on like maybe 2 or 3 different areas if you want to think about our like direction of focus right now. It's core game, so fixing game economy. We're going to actually kind of not pause it, but like start working on some more stuff in parallel now that we have a lot of it done. And we're getting through most of it. And now team's focus will start to be on Chapter 3 and more new features. This is so much more fun for all the team and for the players now too. Like the economy fixes are not fun for anybody working on them on the team is what I'll say. Like it's not fun to go and fix things. And it's way more fun to go out and build new things. It's more exciting for players. The energy is a lot better when we're building new things. And now we're finally there. So Chapter 3 is about to kick off actually. Internally. In Chapter 3, how it's going to work is we're kind of focused on PvE mechanics in Chapter 3 at the very beginning. But then contested lands is still on the roadmap, basically. Like transparently, our designer came from working at Yuga. And it's cool because they kind of had roadmapped out contested lands on their end game too. We kind of like both had developed those systems in parallel. So our current designer on the team loves the idea of contested lands. What we want to get out first is PvE, but there's also potentially ways we can get out contested lands in tier 5. I think that's what people are asking about mostly for after that. So how our current system works and how most of our like game design systems work is we're in a stage where adding new content is significantly easier than before. Basically, like we had a new design team come into the game and they were like, what is going on here? And you guys felt that, right? Like a lot of the tasks in the task board before the Chapter 2.5 changes made no sense. Now they make more sense. There's still some things that we need to tweak and change. But like, I'm not saying it's perfect, right? But now we can start adding more of that content back. And what I can say too, this is really related to pet care. I saw somebody ask that a bunch of times. Yeah, fix pet care. It's not being used too much in game, and there wasn't too much demand on it. And some of the pet care craftable items weren't used that much. Yeah, we talked about this in our meeting last week. Yeah, I think we can get that in pretty soon. Let me go and check in again on like when exactly that's going to get done. And I'll come back next day, man. Like I'll try to get you a confirmed timeline. But it should be significantly easier. Basically, we have to get through this XP and item rebalance first. Then designer can focus his time on like adding some of this stuff. And then chapter 3 is like main focus for the team after. The other stuff that we're working on too is some of the ecosystem side of things. So last week we announced login with pixels. And I still want to say like login with pixels is like a pretty big deal, I think. We've had a bunch of teams reach out to us that want to use the login with pixels. Probably like 20 teams reached out to me over the last week. Some people in the community.
Yeah, they're like, I want to make a game now.
yeah. So some existing tools, like for example, like a lot of the community built tools that you have inside of Pixels that you guys interact with every single day want to use it. Some Ronin games have reached out to us, and even games that have nothing to do with Ronin have reached out to us wanting to use login with pixels also, because there's some really useful stuff for them there too. So it's cool. Like login with pixels will start to get used more in the ecosystem. And also any other game that we release is going to use login with pixels also. So what's cool about login with pixels is your account progress that you've made inside of this game is going to start to follow you to other places. The reputation part is going to be the one that is probably the most important to external games. But we have some more stuff that we're building and releasing pretty soon, and we'll be announcing soon. We've talked a lot about ecosystem, how we want to like publish games and acquire games. There's maybe some stuff coming there soon that will be using login with pixels also. So that's really exciting. And that's kind of the other part of what we're working on also. So pet care, I agree. It needs to be in the Taskboard like ASAP. I'm going to go and push that again and harder. It shouldn't be too hard for us to do, is what I'll say.
Okay, someone asked a fun question. So free t-shirts at the YGG Summit. So yeah, we will have free t-shirts. This one right here. We have our model. Yeah. So we'll have, we only have 2,000, which might seem like a lot, but I think there's around 13,000 people coming to the event. So you'll have to come to our booth. You'll have to do a really small quest on your phone, which basically what we're going to ask is that you like screenshot a part of the online. So yeah, we're hosting, I don't know, I think I've leaked this before, but if I haven't yet, we are hosting the official online version of the YGG Summit online. So very similar to the Binance event, but everything YGG, and this one's going to be really fun because it's like in the Pixels realm, whatever, you get it. So you'll have to like take a screenshot of that and then post yourself on Twitter, tagging us, maybe a hashtag, and then we'll give you a free t-shirt, which is really fun. We also have a bunch of stickers. Once again, I think I only was able to print like 1,000 of each sticker, but what's pretty cool, and this is purely due to a miscommunication, but a very cool miscommunication, is that we're going to have our regular 3 stickers that you guys have probably seen around. We have the Pixel token, the Pixels logo, and the Pixels icon. But due to a miscommunication, we're also going to have printed versions of this logo right here. So that's a really fun little addition, because that one is hand-drawn by yours truly. So it's kind of like a funky version. So anyways, yes, there's going to be really fun stuff at YGG, and I'm really excited. I hope we can see you all there.
Oh, somebody asked, are you ready to dance in YPS?
Oh my gosh, no, they've been asking that a lot. There's been a few people asking.
Is that YP's event?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I just met YP for the first time.
No, that's the abbreviation of the YGG Summit.
Oh, the YGG Play Summit. Yeah. I mean, I think YP is hosting an event.
Yeah, yeah, also. He is
too. Great guy. I want to say, like very, he just seems like an awesome person. Like follow YP Yellow Panther if you're not. I'm only bringing that up because I know
I haven't met him yet.
Yeah, he's an insane dancer.
Guys, did you see? I just posted a really stupid video of like Gioho and me. That's the first time I've met Gio in person. Isn't that crazy? I can't believe it.
Okay. We're seeing some like asks.
Are we offline? Are we online? Can you guys see us, or is it just my computer?
I think it's your computer. I
Okay.
think
Good.
yeah, some people are not too happy with the MOI stuff too. Let me dig into that also. Yeah, we've been talking about moving MOI to other industries. We added that like Barney D40 feature. I don't know how. Let me actually look at how many people are using that. I don't think that many of you are.
So if you have the Barney D40, you can use it on the MOI. I'm not sure if that information was portrayed well.
Yeah, I don't think many people are using that though. I kind of get why, to be honest. So yeah, I don't have that data right here. Or maybe just no one's got it. I don't think that's true. But oh yeah, I think I do have that. Yeah, it's not very used as well. Say, so I wouldn't call that feature very effective for helping speed up crafting.
How much was distributed though? Was it even a lot?
Can't you purchase it now? I think you can purchase Barney D40, but maybe I'm wrong on that. But yeah, I think we're gonna have to do a different solution than the Barney D40 for the MOI stuff. That was like one thing where like, okay, if we do that,
I don't know if this will ever happen, but I like the idea.
No, we've talked about it a lot, to be honest.
Using it on like the winery.
Well, on industries, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Go on. That is like if you've played a game like Clash of Clans, that's actually a really good currency use. Where basically in Clash of Clans, like you are really bottlenecked a lot of the time by build times, and you're not in pixels at all, right? So you're bottlenecked on wineries right now by a lot. That's like the one area where we have been trying to basically make a lot of like chapter 2 feel that way, and it really has only worked on the wineries because there's so few of them. That's kind of how we're thinking about the other resources too. So with this, somebody asked about how we can start to create more tier 3 and tier 4 demand. The first thing that we're going to be doing with this, we've talked about like a few of the approaches here, is the first thing that we'll do is basically start to increase cooldowns on tier 3 and tier 4 farming. So it will have to take like a little bit longer to get some resources on tier 3 and tier 4. If you guys remember chapter 1, the cooldowns are really long. Sometimes they were hours, right? Sometimes they were like, I think they were like 6 to 8 hours most of the time. If you want to like plant a crop, you would have to come back.
I personally liked it more. It felt easier.
Yeah, you were done at a certain point, right?
Exactly.
So we might not go that extreme, but we're going to start to increase cooldown timers in some of the tier 3 and the tier 4 resources. And the end goal here is we're going to start to increase resource scarcity in tier 3 and tier 4 a little bit more. The other thing that we can do in the short run is basically increase the frequency of these tasks a little bit more to kind of take down the stock. So here's how you have to view the economics of tier 3 and tier 4. There's supply and then there's demand, right? Demand comes through the Taskboard right now, and it will also come through things like merchant ships. So merchant ships, that feature that we're adding in, is like kind of another way to think about resource burn, and creating new things for resource burn besides just I want to earn pixels, so I'm trading in these resources, right? I want to get this winery, I want to get this costume, I want to get other stuff like that. That's gonna be the approach for like merchant ships, basically, like adding another sync mechanism for these resources. And it'll be kind of more geared towards tier 3 and tier 4 from my understanding. So that'll help some of the demand there. And then the supply side is the things that we're thinking about with the cooldowns. So if you start to increase cooldowns, the supply of tier 3 and tier 4 resources eases back a little bit, right? And then the industry limits will be something that we work on also. And yeah, we're a little stuck on this one. So actually, if you guys have ideas on the industry limits, let us know, because the blocker on this is more how to think about it, and how do we go about it. So there's two things that we want to do with industries on farmland. We want to add durability to industries on farmland, but the thing that we can't figure out is how to make it so that it doesn't screw over the farmland owner. So if industries are able to be broken down, is it really fair that the farmland owner has to pay for the maintenance on these industries? Maybe it could be fair, right? But if you guys have a better way of how to think about this is actually somewhere where we could use some help from the community to think about this one. There's other ways that we can do it, right? But and it's not something that we have to do like the industry breakdown, but it's probably something that makes sense, right? Or what we could do too, or not, or like what we're going to start to introduce too is industry limits on farms. But the thing that we wanted to do with industry limits to make it feel better is basically like it would be really nice to pair that with industry durability. That way we don't have to like make you redecorate your farm.
Yeah, they would just like decay over time, and then you wouldn't be able to replace it until you hit that limit, right? It feels a lot better than if we introduce something like that and then we would have to just like take them all off your land and put them in your mailbox. Like it would just be kind of annoying. We'll see what makes the most sense. But yeah, love to hear your feedback. Okay, I just want to quickly address this one here. So what happened with the recent reputation update? Most of the players got their rep reduced 200 after the Superverse quest. Okay, first of all, the Superverse quest will give you rep. It's not going to reduce it. Like any quest, anything you're doing, I explain this, I think, every single AMA. The new reputation system is smart, it's dynamic, it's ever-changing, which means sometimes things will go down, and that's what happened last week. And something changed in how the algorithm was, doing its thing, reading things, and a lot of people lost some reputation. But that doesn't mean like they're not going to get it the next time they do. I don't know. They farm more. They do more quests. They come to more live ops events, right? So it's this dynamic, ever-changing system.
What I'll say is like there will probably be a readjustment there. So the reason why reputation is important is it has to be living, right? Like we have to be able to adjust it, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to give reputation to bots, right? That's going to make the reputation system worthless to you guys. So bots found an exploit by purchasing really low value guilds, or they like made really low value guilds. They were like kind of farming guilds for a minute there. So we adjusted the reputation around that system. I think there was a better way that we could have done it though. So that's a note. Yeah. One, it's good to see how many people care about the reputation. That's very, very good that you guys care so much. And, when you saw it decrease, you were upset, rightfully so. Like you guys should have been upset about that. Yeah, the reason is we changed points around guild stuff. But I think what we need to do actually is probably give different amount of reputation for guild size, basically. Like if you join a top guild, that means a lot more than joining a guild with like 2 people in it. So it probably makes sense to give more.
But there's more to good guilds than just size. I will say that.
Yes.
There's more than just size. So
100%.
But as Luke is saying, you guys are in the right for being upset by it. You are, but also expect it. Like expect it to go up and down as like I said, it's a moving, ever-changing system because it has to be. So don't worry about it. You guys are all still top tier players. You're good. Yeah. Okay. Let's see some other questions.
I'm trying to see if there's comments on. Okay. Will you focus more on crafting taskboard? People leveling up only farming, mining, and forestry are winning the game right now. Other industries get us punished. Yeah. So we're focused right now on some of these like XP item rebalances. We'll probably go back to the taskboard soon and make some of these changes. So I guess when we go back to the taskboard and make some adjustments, here's the promise. We'll make sure that we batch this all together. We'll go through animal care, and then we'll go and make sure that like we're taking a deep look at the different levels for industries and like where those earnings are going. We have that data now. But yeah, we can only focus on so many things at like one time, right? So what we want to do and how we've been thinking about our approach to building is kind of the 80-20 rule, right? So when we get these changes out to cooldowns, recipes, items, all that kind of stuff, it's going to feel really good, right? If we had not done that and focused on that and just focused on taskboard tweaks for a little bit, we wouldn't be getting the new stuff out. So we kind of want to like go piece by piece, come back to some stuff, go piece by piece, come back to some stuff and like tweak a little bit. what's cool is we have a new data science team now, right? So we're getting some crazy insights. Like I showed you guys that one like crazy web looking graph. We have some other cool stuff that we've been digging into a lot lately also. And I also think we have some stuff that's ready to ship when it comes to like changing earnings too. So we just did a lot of back end stuff on kind of like prediction, if that makes sense. So we have a better idea now of what users are actually going to be using the token inside of the game. And here's how we view segmentation and some of the data and earnings stuff. This is actually something that Pixels is unique at inside of Web3 gaming, and honestly Web3 in general. And I actually can confidently say that we're a leader here when it comes to smart earnings inside of a game. I like to think about two different things. I like to think about giving out rewards to people who are most likely to be using and spending the token. And that's, if I'm being honest, it's like a little bit more whale driven when we think about that, right? Like we want to give out tokens to people who are going to be like actually using them inside of the game because it helps build out that solid base of revenue. But here's the thing. If we only give out tokens to people who are whales, a lot of you would leave, right? Or like, if we have a game that people love and play, like all of you play for different reasons, right? But there's also other value inside of the game that you might be providing to the game besides just spending pixel, right? Like if you're hanging out and going to events, if you're like a positive community member and you're like giving a lot of support, if you're like in a guild, if you're like really grinding and you're like, showing people that like, hey, grinding pays off. Like there's all these different things that also provide value to the ecosystem. And that will be the next stage of how we're doing targeted earnings too. So, we're thinking about players who use the token, and we're also thinking about players who provide value to the ecosystem in other ways too. And we'll start to boost those earnings too. So let's talk about earnings a little bit because it is important. And it's kind of interesting too. Pixels is cool because you can participate in crypto markets playing pixels without putting any capital in, right? That's actually pretty crazy, right? Like, the crypto markets look pretty positive right now, right? And like the future looks pretty bright for at least right now, right? Markets do what they do. But everybody's pretty excited on the Twitter timeline, right? On the X timeline. And what's really cool is Pixels provides you an opportunity to participate in what's going on there without having any money put in at the very beginning, right? So like now's a great time to be earning Pixel, right? And yeah, what you do with it is up to you, but it's a pretty fun time to be in the ecosystem right now too, right? Like I'm sure if you guys have, friends that used to play the game, like you might even be getting some people asking you about it again right now too, now that crypto is getting like a bit more exciting for the normies. And they'll probably be asking you like, how do I get Pixel? You can play the game. The Pixel token is also available to purchase on exchanges if you wanted to. But I think playing the game is the coolest way to get involved in crypto and get definitely some exposure to it, right?
It was fun.
Yeah.
Like there's like such a strong community with it.
Yeah. And what's also interesting too is like now that the spend inside of the game is starting to increase, here's what happens to like the Pixel when you spend it, right? 80% of the pixel spent in game goes to the community treasury, right? And there's over 42 million pixel in that community treasury right now. That community treasury is owned by you guys. It's not owned by a foundation. It's not owned by like Pixels, the operating company. It's owned by you. So, we said, the foundation said when like a year came up after the token listing, that they were going to open up governance to that community treasury, right? So that's just around the corner, which is pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're on track to have it, ready by that time. We're actually probably hiring somebody full-time to manage this early on, or the foundation is going to be hiring somebody full-time to manage this early on. So you're going to start to see some more news on what that looks like. And we have some interesting ideas there around what we can do with that. Mm-hmm. I just had a weird one today. I like the idea of citizenship in Pixels. Like maybe if you have, like you can be a Pixel citizen if you have like over a certain amount of reputation or a certain amount staked inside of the game, maybe, and maybe that's how we let you vote. Mm-hmm. It's interesting because like governance, in Web3, there's some parts I don't like about it. Like I don't love that just because you have more money, you get to control like what's done in a lot of Web3 governance. Like that's not super, that's not great, right?
Yeah, we want the good users, our top users, most loyal, most passionate, most all of it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's something there, right? Where reputation is definitely going to play a part of the governance. I know that for sure. I think staking should too when we have that introduced as well. And then, yeah, the other part, 20% of the rewards, they go back into rewards in the pool. So what's cool now that revenue has been increasing inside of the game is we can probably start to increase the total rewards given out too. So that might be through Taskboard, but that also might be through other mechanisms. Like that might be through like referrals or like other things like that also. So we're going to start to introduce like other earn mechanisms or increase earnings pretty soon too. Like I think now is actually the time because we're on track with the fundamentals inside of Pixels. Revenue's been increasing month by month. And if we are like really solidly there, like, yeah, the more that people spend, the more that, you know, the rewards can be given out too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look, I just got my nails done for Luke didn't care. So
no one cares.
Don't act like you care. But yeah, they do. Look, a little Pixels logo. Isn't it so cute?
No one cares.
Yeah, they do.
Man, people really want the carnival back.
I know. I don't know. I mean, like, it was fun. I love the
It was
mini
really
games.
fun. That was, I mean, I think part of it is like this is a lot of people's 1 year anniversary of playing Pixels.
So they were like welcomed with the carnival.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, I want to say I was gonna tweet something here, but I'll just say it on the AMA too. I am so incredibly grateful for the last year. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
Like honestly, for us, this almost feels like a 1 year anniversary of Pixels too, because 1 year ago is when Pixels
doesn't.
It doesn't, right? Like 1 year ago is when Pixels really came on like the map, and when like this became a lot more real to like everybody, right? We were kind of grinding away for 2 years before that, and we had some traction, right? But yeah, everything became real a year ago, and it's been so fun. Like the fact that so many people care about this, and the fact that so many people are like really like emotionally invested into what Pixels is. It's such a privilege to be here and doing this with all of you. And I'm incredibly grateful for the community that we have here. And yeah, thanks for letting us do this with all of you.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's also super motivating too, because it's bigger than this team now, right? That's what's cool about getting a DAO coming up soon, because you guys will have say in what the future of Pixels looks like.
Yeah. You can decide to have certain projects built out, aspects of game or something else, like, or you could burn it all. There's so many options. So I'm very interested to see how that goes.
Oh, somebody asked this question.
No, sorry. This made me laugh.
Somebody keeps asking to see my forehead.
Yeah, someone did ask to see your forehead. I actually thought that was really funny. Like, why? Is mine not big enough for you?
Yeah, so somebody asked, please make the wardrobe slot unlimited. Mine's already full. Should I throw out the other stuff I own?
No, use a storage box. Come on.
Yeah, you can just put a chest.
Think for a second. Don't just throw it out.
But okay, so this is the kind of stuff where if it's on chain, there's unlimited storage, right? So the wardrobe, I really strongly believe that's something that should be on chain. And yeah, we'll get something on chain there soon. So there's a couple different ways that we can do it, right? I heard Ronin might become permissionless pretty soon. So that's gonna be really exciting when it does, right? I cannot wait for Ronin to become permissionless. I don't have any inside scoop on when it's gonna happen, so I can't spill the beans there. But in the meantime, we don't need to wait for Ronin to be permissionless to get some of this stuff on chain. We'll probably, I think what we're gonna do is create a new collection called like Pixels Cosmetics, or Pixels Items, and just throw a bunch of different things in there. That way you can go and use them on chain and sell them in the marketplace if you want. That'll be cool when we do that. Hope is like we can maybe get some of that stuff by end of year. I think it really makes sense though, and That's how I view chase content too. Like I have the belief that all chase content, basically anything that goes into like merchant ships or is like, sufficiently valuable inside of a game, like a winery, for example, that should be on chain. So here's kind of the roadmap of how we can get some of this stuff on chain, because there's some things that are easier to do on chain than others. The wardrobe is going to be the easiest one to do on chain because it's a separate inventory. It kind of works like our NFT avatar system already. And it makes sense, right? Things like industries, getting them on chain, it's a little weird on how we might have to do that. Like we might be able to do like you have to, well, yeah, the consumable part makes it weird, or even just like it's on chain, but it's on my land. How does that work? I think what we might need to do is we might need to make it so that you can like deposit and withdraw an industry or an NFT into the game, or kind of effectively stake it. So it's locked, and then that's how you can kind of place it down or get the in-game item, right? Then it wouldn't be tradable in game either. It'd only be tradable on chain. So there's like a few complications there that we're thinking about the best UX for that one. But the first easiest step is these things in the wardrobe to move on chain. When are you going to try to make more benefits for guilds to be more attractive to new players? Okay, so here's how I think about guilds. One, I don't think I was actually talking to Gabby about this, who is the best person inside of Web3 to talk about with guilds.
Definitely.
And yeah, I think our problem with guilds right now is there was some like initial success there, but they're not useful in the game in the way that they need to be right now. Like there's just not enough to do in game. I've always had the belief that if you want something on chain to like, make sense and have value, like there needs to be in-game use for it. And the value behind it needs to be driven through its in-game utility. So the Guild Wars stuff that we introduce, I think will be like a good step at that, but I'm not even sure if that's enough. It could be, at least in the short to medium term, but I really think the economics of land ownership play a lot into this. I think it's related to tier 3 and tier 4. Yeah, and we've seen some cool stuff happen with guilds and wineries already, but there's more that needs to be done there. But I think like the winery thing, as annoying it is to some players,
interesting meta.
Yeah, that's kind of also how we're thinking about why being in a guild might be useful to a player too. If a guild has wineries, that's kind of a big deal right now, right? People keep asking about Salt coming back. I'm going to take this one to the team. I don't have a concrete answer on Salt, but
I don't either.
I'm going to put this, I'm literally putting this in our Slack right now. I'm going to copy and paste this comment. When Salt coming back? All right. Directly sent to the design team. There's so many questions. You guys are chatty today.
I know. It's great. Great questions too.
Yeah. These are all really good.
Yeah.
People keep asking about when Play the Airdrop Season 3. This one's interesting to me because I've seen this comment a lot. And it's interesting because, the Pixel token is live now. It's integrated in game. It's kind of like a Play the Airdrop every day, right?
Yeah. Literally, you're playing a game.
What's crazy? Like the amount of pixel emitted every day is probably bigger than like a lot of Web3 games, like airdrops over seasons. When it comes to like amount.
That's wild.
Yeah. But I mean, there is something interesting about the psychology of Play the Airdrop, right? Like it's more like a tournament. I think that's what you guys are asking for. Like, how can I compete against other players to get like a much bigger reward? And I do love that idea, to be honest. I think we should do something like that again too. That also is maybe an interesting use case of community treasury, though. Maybe the DAO, when it goes live, says, hey, we want to set aside some of this pixel in the community treasury for a huge contest like this. Like maybe you're like, hey, like we think that this pixel should go back to the players, but we want to do it in like a fair way. How do we determine? You guys are going to be in our seat, right? You guys are going to have to go and determine like, how do you actually give out pixel to people in the right way? Like what's fair? Because you guys are going to have to come to a consensus on that, right?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Okay. Someone asked earlier about AMA times. So here we go. Yeah, Luke and I have been traveling. We've been in a lot of different time zones, and also a little bit of an experimentation of switching it up. What does this feel like? So right now, actually, I think might be our new normal time, because it's 7. Oh no, wait, no, not now. It would be in 2 hours.
Yeah.
No, I lied. This wouldn't be our new normal. Anyways, things are switching up. We're changing things up. I think next week we'll be at our regular time, which is 12 p.m. Pacific. But over the next few months, it's going to change a little bit here and there. So.
Oh, we're going to. Are we telling people we're doing an in-person one?
I think we did already.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to be doing. So next week's AMA is actually going to be on Saturday, which is crazy, and it's going to be in person at the YGG event. I'm not sure how they're managing questions quite yet. I think they were talking about pulling up some from online, or like having people submit them and then they come up and ask their question like on a mic. Like I'm not sure how the process is working, but either way, Luke and I will be there on stage in person taking questions from a live audience, which is so exciting and so fun. So yeah, next week's AMA is not on Wednesday. It's not even on Thursday, which we've done a couple of times. It's going to be on Saturday, which is pretty crazy. So stay tuned for that. I'm very excited. It'll be really fun.
Someone keeps asking when rework recipes. That's what's happening right now. Like that's what the team is focused on, reworking the recipes.
Love the idea of citizenship. It's cute. You get a little Terryville passport. Cool.
When can we buy pets in game? So I still love the idea of having to earn pets rather than buy them. It's a bigger deal. So what's crazy about pets, I think the coolest thing about pets is well,
because you can always buy a pet secondary.
Yeah, right? But a really cool thing about pets is how many unique owners there are compared to the collection. Right? Like it's actually like super high unique owners compared to the amount of pets inside of the game compared to other NFT collections. And it's because of this mechanism, right? You couldn't go out and mint 100 pets. You couldn't go out and do that. I want to get the stats right now because it's cool. Yeah, so there's 3,800 pets total right now and 2,700 owners. It's like 72% unique ownership.
That's amazing.
That's really healthy.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And a lot of people that earn their pets have never sold them, which is awesome.
Yeah. What's his name? Just had 365-day pet streak.
Yeah. Shout out to Wenza Tops.
That's the name of the pet.
Yeah. Sloppy Steaks. Yeah. They hit
amazing
every single day for 1 year. This person has taken care of their pet. I know how dedicated they were. They were setting alarms.
Yeah.
They were setting.
They were so worried when we're doing like an update. Yeah. No. Shout out. I think I sent them like a VIP coupon because that's incredible. And then I had so many people messaging me being like, I hit my 1 year anniversary. I'm like, no. Pet anniversary. Like you took care of the pet every single day. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, somebody just asked when pet app. We just like confirmed development of it. And we're kicking it off now. It's gonna be really cool. I think I talked about it a little bit last week, but it's gonna be really similar to Sush or Pengu if you've played either of those games. How it works is it's going to be like really social. I haven't talked about like how it works yet, I don't think. But basically, you have to take care of the pet with another player. So you can't take care of the pet alone. Like when you sign up and like go into the game, it's required that you take care of it with another person. So that's cool. It's fun. It starts fights also with people. It's like a good game to play with like a significant other, family members, sibling, mom. It'll be fun. Okay. This AMA time is good for us from the Philippines. It's still kind of late for you guys in the Philippines.
It's midnight.
Yeah, you guys are crazy. This is what I'll say. Like
Better than like 3, 4 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of people from the Philippines that were still coming to the AMAs at 3 or 4 in the morning,
shout
I
out to you
cannot
guys.
believe it. You guys are
Mhm.
so dedicated. Yeah, I cannot emphasize how excited I am to like go and meet a lot of you next week. It'll be a really good time.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Okay,
fun.
somebody asked about we want an in-game friends list in chat. What I'll say is I officially added this to our backlog. I'm not making a promise on when this is going to get out, but here's how I think about friends, because I actually think it's a super powerful feature. I like a referral system that's more based on friends than like direct referrals. What I don't like about referral systems now inside of Web3 especially is the links really clog up the timeline. They're super annoying and they're really geared towards crypto users, which now what Pixels is going to do, we've always had like a few different approaches to growth, right? We've thought about growing with like crypto users first, like Web3 users first, right? Like, you know, the Ronin ecosystem was great for us because we've built with a Web3 native audience in mind from the beginning. But now it's also the time to kind of shift towards Web2 audiences too. Especially, I'm not sure. I've had some friends reach back out to me now in the last week about crypto again.
Really?
Yeah, we're starting to get there, right? And you know, you have like moments in time where you can actually onboard the normal people into your life into crypto. And now it's going to be like a good time again. So here's what we need to do in order to actually take advantage of that. We need to fix our onboarding experience. That's one thing that we're going to reprioritize, like basically ASAP. So there's a lot of things there that we're going to need to do. The onboarding experience in Pixels is bad. You have to watch YouTube videos, which you guys have been doing a great job of creating them. There's YouTube videos of how to play Pixels that have 200,000 views.
Yeah.
Which is like great. It's also kind of sad on our end too, right? Like we shouldn't have to have 200,000 people.
But also like when I play Minecraft, that's me. I'm like, how to do.
Yeah, but this kind of game, like you really shouldn't have to watch a YouTube video to learn how to play it. So we need to go fix that. And if we're going to push for more growth, like now is the time to do that basically. So yeah, expect that. Here's some of the features that we want that makes sense. Like we want like slideshows. We want like we want to get people to a magical experience quicker. I've been talking about this a little bit internally and like externally. But you have to think about what are the moments when you first play Pixels where you're like, wow, this is so cool. When you earn your first pixel, that's a huge deal, right? Like there's nothing crazier than like earning your first pixel.
Yeah. I
think your first withdrawal is pretty awesome too, to be completely honest. Like that feels sick when you like for the first time like get to like take some out. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing to go and withdraw pixel. Like that's where play to earn game, kind of the point sometimes, right? And then yeah, I think looking at avatars, like the first time that you like equip an NFT inside of the game that you bought from somewhere else, like that's crazy. It feels so cool. You're like, wow, I get Web3 gaming now. So that's kind of what the onboarding needs to think about too. It's not just explaining the game, but it's like also convincing people, hey, like Web3 games, crypto games, play to earn games, they're really cool.
Yeah.
This is why you should stick around if you checked it out for the first time. So yeah, we're thinking about that stuff a lot right now.
Awesome. Okay, we're way over time. So is there any other questions we wanted to pull up? A lot of good stuff today. A lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, somebody's asking about Guild Taskboard. Yeah, here's transparently why it didn't go out. It didn't go out. It's like, I think 90% done. Yeah, we put.
I knew it was like a pretty hard dev task. It wasn't like a simple thing.
Yeah, no, we basically finished
it. Was quite complex.
And we used like pieces of that code for other stuff too, which is great. But the reason why it didn't go out was more like there were no syncs in the game then. Now we feel a lot better about syncs inside of the game with the Pixel, where we actually can probably start to reintroduce this stuff. Yeah, I'll bring this back to the team and see if this makes sense to reprioritize, especially since there's been so much work done on it already and how it's almost done. It might be an easier win, but no guarantees on that in the short term. But I do like that the reason why we wanted to build it is because we do think it's a good feature and it makes sense.
Okay, I think we can finish it off with this comment. We're going to go into shock because you guys are crazy supporters. So, oh my goodness, we're really excited next week to meet a bunch of you and do like the live AMA. It's gonna be a really fun experience.
Yeah.
So
be
nice to us.
Please be nice.
Be nice. We are human beings. Be nice to us. But yeah, we're really excited and happy about meeting a lot of you guys too. So
yeah, I still think we should save some shirts for reputation players.
Just make more. What do you mean?
Well, no, when we're actually at the event, when we're giving them out, right? There's only 2,000 to give out. I feel like we should make people show.
Well, we were gonna do the quest. Do you think we should make them show their rep?
I like that idea.
Of social quest.
Oh, that one's good too.
That was the idea. Social quest, like screenshot yourself in the YGG event, post it with a hashtag, and then you get the.
That's kind of too. I don't know. That's kind of too easy.
Should it be reputation? Should it be a social quest? You're waiting for the responses.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for the positivity this week, guys. Yeah, I know there's also some comments that are like, here's this one. Can you confirm you want lands to go to 0? Your actions make it pretty clear to me.
And then we have happy birthday, Sophia. So happy birthday, Sophia.
Yeah, on that note, what I'll say is, yeah, we're trying. There's a lot of stuff they're working on here. Yeah, we know that landowner sentiment's not at like an all-time high by any means. The stuff they're working on, like we hope this will fix some of these issues, right? Like these issues are pretty complex. Basically, like if you guys could give me concrete answers on like how to make all of this work together, like we listen in these AMAs. Like I'm stalking the landowner channel. Believe me, I'm in it. I have an alt on Discord that I've been using, to be honest, because that way I can sneak a little bit more. That way I can sneak and watch a little bit more lately and just see like where the sentiment is at sometimes without.
No, the what's it called? When there's like a shocking change of events or something.
Supply shock? What?
That was almost economics response. I'm talking like storytelling.
Oh.
I was gonna say, oh, Luke is the one fudding, but anyways.
Oh yeah.
No, never mind.
But yeah, no. Like my take on this is, again, like everything in game, like we want the fundamentals to work, right? Like that's why a lot of the focus is spent on game economy. If you're seeing like some of these game economy changes that we're making have helped fix the fundamentals of the game and have led to some increase in some of the positive ecosystem stats. Like for example, the most important ecosystem stat that will be the foundation for everything is pixel revenue, right? If we're not making solid progress on increasing pixel revenue, and getting closer to like solving the fundamentals of Web3 gaming, then all of this is for nothing anyways, right? So yeah, we have to build that foundation and base before anything else. And sometimes it takes some time. But I hope you guys see that we're making progress. Like, we really care. Like we really, really care. Mm-hmm. I am a people pleaser at heart. Like, you know, I don't like negative sentiment. And like, this is the kind of stuff that we have to do to fix it, right? Like some of the hard things that take a little bit longer. It wasn't an easy decision to go back and say, hey guys, we got to stop features and fix chapter 2. But it paid off and there's still more that we have coming and there's still more to do. So yeah, I hope you guys see the effort that we're putting in. The team cares a lot. It's really cool that we get to do this. And yeah, we're super excited to be in Manila next week and we'll see all of you there.
I'm so excited.
Thanks everybody.
Bye guys.